especially when we ask them questions. They seem to struggle. Why is that? Well, perhaps you already know. For some, it's the sentence structure. They have a little bit of difficulty to put the words in the right order, so they just will give you one word answer. Sometimes it's they're shy, they're embarrassed to give you the wrong answer. Or at times it's just a lack of vocabulary. They just don't know what words to say. So today I'm going to give you 5 tips that you can apply in your classroom. My first tip has to do with what not to do. Let's not ask close-ended questions. What are those? Let me show you. Is the girl happy? Did you go to school today? Why is the sad girl crying? So some of these questions are just yes or no answer, and other questions are just way too obvious for the student, and they'll give you just one word answer. So why is that so important? Close-ended questions, because you are the one asking them to answer you with only one word. You might disagree. You might say, well, I do like close-ended questions because I'm going to follow up with an open question, which I somewhat agree. It's true. I do that too. But then I try to remember the ratio we should have between us and our student. 70% talk time for the student, 30% talk time for us. So that's an incentive to ask the right questions from the start and avoid as much as we can close-ended questions. Tip number 2, ask open questions. What are those? Well, let's take a look at some examples. So you have, what did you eat today? Why is the girl scared? How will he get the cat from the tree? You can also ask viewpoint questions. Do you think it's better to drive your car or ride your bicycle to school? Do you think it's better to eat at home or at school? Then you want to be patient. Don't speak unnecessarily. Remember the ratio that we all want to have. Very important. So not speaking mean perhaps you're not even going to say, well, that's an interesting question, isn't it? Oh, let's read the question again. No. Ask your open question or your viewpoint question and then wait. It's okay to have a little bit of a silence in class. Your student is processing his answer. Tip number 3, multiple answers. Give your student multiple answers to choose from. Why? Because you are demonstrating how to answer. Some students really honestly don't know what to answer. So give them the benefit of the doubt and then write it on the whiteboard. So here's an example that you can understand a little bit better what I mean. So let's say the question is, what time will the festival begin? So you can write 3 answers, 5 o'clock. Nope, that's not the one you want. Oh, it will begin at 5 o'clock. The festival will begin at 5 o'clock. Did you notice in my question I underlined the words that I want to use in my answer? Okay, here's another example. When the student has to answer a why question, he's going to use because. So the question is on the whiteboard or in the text. You want to underline the words you want the student to use in his answer. And then you're going to write 3 examples again. First one is because it's the rule. Most students answer why questions that way, and it actually isn't the right way. So show them 2 more examples using because. And this will help them understand how to answer. And at this point, you can ask the question again and let them answer. So multiple answers can help your student understand what he needs to say, what words he needs to use. Tip number 4, vocabulary. Your student might lack words, So how about teaching them or showing them that the words they can use are found in the question? So here's an example. So we have, what did Anna find at the beach? So I've highlighted the words I want my student to use. And I'm going to tell my student or ask my student, I want you to use Anna at the beach in your answer. Then step 2 is telling your student the grammar if necessary. In this case, your student might have noticed it's a question in the past tense. So you might circle did, and then you might ask your student, what is the past tense of find? Oh, he knows it. Great. So write it on top of find, or you write found, and then you ask the question and you wait for your student to answer. And again, waiting is okay. Having a moment of silence is okay. Your student is learning English and he's not answering questions every day. He's learning English only with you in class most of the time. So be patient. Tip number 5, grammar exercises. Huh? Yeah. Many of our lessons have grammar exercise slides, and this you can use to your advantage to let your students speak more, encourage your student to speak more. How to do this? Well, here's an example. So the student has to complete these sentences, and we've just talked about the difference between good and well. The student knows they have the same meaning, but now they understand that, good is an adjective, well is an adverb. So number 1, oh great, the student has the good answer. I think he is a good chef. Well, now you can ask the question to your student, why is your answer good? Why did you use good? And then let the student explain his answer. So he might say, I chose good because I noticed chef is a noun and good is an adjective that can modify a noun. Great. So that's a little tip to make your students speak more when you have grammar lessons. So these were my 5 tips for you. Try them, and perhaps these tips even inspire you of thinking of other ways to make your students speak more.